Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you the first market update for the month of June. And as always, we're going to be starting off with all properties. Let's jump right into it. All right, so at a glance, we had 504 new listings, 201 new sales. The average list price was $689,506. The average sale price was $666,917. The average sale price to list ratio was 96.74. Average days on market was 41.94, and we ended the month with an inventory of 932. So let's take a look at the current market conditions. As always, I like to use the sales to new listing ratio and the monthly supply of inventory method, as it gives a more complete picture of what's going on in the market. So when we use the monthly supply of inventory method, we came in at 5.93, which is in neutral market territory, but starting to border on a buyer's market. When we use the sales to new listing ratio instead, we came in at 40%, which is the cutoff between a neutral market and buyer. Now let's take a look at the active inventory last month. New listings continued a 6-month trend with higher listings every month, with last month coming in at 504, rising from 397 in April. New sales also continued a 6-month trend up, rising from 187 up to 201. Expireds ticked up from 55 up to 86, and the average price for a benchmark home in Kamloops fell $6,200 from $583,700 down to $577,500. Now let's take a look at the end of month inventory. Last month we ended the month with an inventory of 932, which is about 7% below the 10-year average of 869. This is the highest amount of inventory we've had this time of year, going back all the way till 2016. If we take a look at new sales, so far year to date we've had 1,773 new listings, which is pretty well middle of the road over the last 10 years and is about 5% higher than the 10-year average of 1,692. When we look at units sold instead, we see so far year to date we've had 782 new sales, which is about 23% below the 10-year average of 1,022. This is the lowest we've had going this time of year, or year to date, so far this year, going back to 2020. Now let's take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with the average sale price. These numbers are measured year over year, so a full year over a full year. And when we look at it that way, the average price for homes in Kamloops have risen about 1.89% from 624,000 and change up to 636,000 and change. If we take a look at the sales to new listing ratio instead, this is just a measurement of how much properties are selling compared to the list price. So it's a proxy for how much negotiating room there is when you are the buyer. And last month we came in at 96.74, which is about middle of the road over the last 12 months, but it's fallen just about a little bit over 0.5% over the last couple of months, meaning that there is slightly more room to negotiate when you are the buyer. Now let's take a look at sales by property type. These again are measuring full year over full year, and when you look at it that way, sales are actually up about 4.6%, with the best performing categories being single family dwellings, which are up 7.52%, and townhomes, which are up 19.26% for units sold. Now let's take a look at how long it's taking properties to sell, starting off with the 10-year. So far, year to date, it's taken an average of 48 days for properties to sell, which is about 14% below the 10-year average of 56. If we look at it by the trailing 12 months instead, we see that last month it took an average of 42 days for properties to sell, which is about 15% below the trailing 12-month average of 49. Finally, let's take a look at it by property types. This graph is showing full year over full year again, and when looked at that way, single-family dwellings and townhomes are relatively flat. Apartment buildings are selling about 15% faster. Manufactured homes are taking about 10% longer. Half duplexes are selling about 27% faster than they were the prior year. Lots are taking about 50% longer. Full duplexes are taking about 21% longer, and recreational dwellings are selling about 44.5% faster, but there's only 3 sales, so it's a bit of a wash on that one. That's all we have for today. As always, I hope that you're getting some value out of these market updates. If you are, consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And as always, if you feel like you would like some things added to these reports, or maybe something needs to be explained more thoroughly, feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section below, and I will get to them as soon as I'm able. Thanks for watching.